Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Tuesday, September the 30th. I'm Andrew Gagan. The local share market is set to open higher this morning ahead of the Reserve Bank interest rate decision, with ASX futures up almost 0.1%. Global stocks rose overnight with European gains in healthcare and luxury stocks offsetting weakness in banks and energy. On Wall Street, the Nasdaq led the gains as investors bought megacap tech stocks despite the potential of US government shutdown and hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve officials. AI chip leader Nvidia rose along with Microsoft. Electronic Arts shares rallied after the game publisher agreed to a private equity takeover deal worth $55 billion with the buyers made up of Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners and private equity firm Silver Lake. AppLovin set a fresh record high with Morgan Stanley raising the target price on the stock. And after US President Donald Trump promoted the health benefits of hemp-derived cannabidiol, US-listed shares of cannabis-related companies surged. Cruise operator Carnival raised its annual profit forecast on strong demand and higher ticket prices for its cruise vacations. And in Europe, Lufthansa will cut 4,000 administrative jobs by 2030 and set higher profitability targets as the German airline seeks to boost efficiencies. On the geopolitical front, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has backed a US-sponsored Gaza peace proposal to end the war in the Palestinian enclave. The 20-point plan calls for a ceasefire, an exchange of hostages held by Hamas for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel, a staged Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, and Hamas disarmament. In the US, Republicans and Democrats have failed to make little progress to avoid a government shutdown. Vice President J.D. Vance has said a shutdown is likely if Congress does not extend government funding beyond a Tuesday midnight deadline. And in the latest Fed speak, Cleveland President Beth Hammack has said, "I continue to see that we have pressure in inflation, both in the headline, in the core, and particularly where I'm worried about is I'm seeing it in services. My forecast is that we're going to remain above target for probably the next 1 to 2 years and not really getting back to our objective of 2%. Well, the US 2-year Treasury yield is around 3.65%, the 10-year falling to 4.13%. The Australian 3-year government bond yields are at 3.56%, with markets pricing in no chance the RBA cash rate will be cut at today's meeting. The US dollar index is down slightly on the day. The Aussie has risen to 65.8 US cents. Oil prices have fallen sharply as OPEC Plus plans for another increase to oil output in November and the resumption of oil exports by Iraq's Kurdistan, raising the global supply outlook. Brent crude futures down 3% to $68 a barrel. Copper is up close to 3%, while iron ore little changed, $103 a tonne, and gold hitting another record as investors flock to the safe haven asset on fears of a potential US government shutdown. Spot gold at around $3,830 an ounce. And Bitcoin has risen to $114,000. Ahead locally today, the Reserve Bank reveals its interest rate decision mid-afternoon, followed by a press conference from Governor Michelle Bullock. We also get building approvals for August, as well as private sector credit growth. That is your day ahead. See you again tomorrow.